Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to day two of 8 ways to lose control and let God take control. So today we're going to be doing day two of our 7 day prayer. I'm Kim, and this is my wife. So welcome.
Hi, welcome. Well, as we said, this is Godly Spiritual Ladies and Men. I'm Gwendolyn, and we're going to be going on the day two now. So let's get it and go.
Okay. So day two, fully obey. Oftentimes God tells us to do things that don't seem logical or normal. Sometimes He commands us to take a plunge at something we are completely new to. It can be scary. Nonetheless, whenever God tells you to do something, do it, be diligent, and follow through. It can be something as simple as praying and reading our Bible each morning to something as radical as leaving your job or serving a missionary of a faraway country. Whichever the case, don't try to find middle ground between your current desires and God's will. Have Half obedience is disobedience. In the Bible, we can see what happens if we don't obey God, and the result isn't pretty. In 1 Samuel, God tells Saul, a young man whom the Israelites chose as king, to destroy the Amalekites and their possessions. Saul did, sort of.
Oops, sorry. One momento.
He kept the, he kept the sheep and oxen instead of getting rid of them, as God commanded him. He did not follow God's word all the way. To make it worse, instead of acknowledging that he had indeed disobeyed, Saul started justifying his action. Saul said to him, I have performed the commandments of the Lord. But Samuel said, What then is this bleating of the sheep, my ears, and the loving blowing of the oxen, which I hear? And Saul said to Samuel, But I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and gone on the mission on which the Lord sent me. So Samuel said, Has the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifice as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to heat than the fat of a ram. For rebellion is a sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is iniquity and idolatry, because you have rejected the word of the Lord. He also has rejected you from being king. Ouch! Saul's act of disobedience cost him his crown. Oftentimes we hinder God's blessings for our lives because this is one thing obedience is key. Either we are following the Lord or we are not. Is there anything God has told you to do that you've been half obeying?
Well, in these times, a lot of us do half obey because God says, "Go do this and that." We go do this, but not that. It's saying like I don't know how you say it in today's terms. It's like you say, "Go work for the poor," and actually tithe. People just tithe and maybe not work for the poor, or maybe ignore them, or certain things like that. I can't think of a particular um, example right now, but it's when you give up everything and just follow what the Lord says, all of it, you know, then you could be doing right. You don't want to be like Saul said, I did his work, I did what I was supposed to say. Yeah, but what about that stuff over there? Oh, don't look at that stuff over there. But God can see everything and He knows everything. And that's the thing they must remember.
Um, and just like we're going back to school, at first, I, at first I questioned it because of my age, and I haven't been in school in such a long time. And but God wanted me back in school, and He made the arrangements of getting everything I needed for school, and to be able to register and start classes at the end of the month. Some, sometimes we do question God, but as we take a breath and step back, we know that what God is saying is right, and we know God wouldn't be saying it if He didn't want us to do it. He won't, and He wouldn't be leading us down the path if if He didn't want us to go down the path that He has told us to go down.
Mhm. Well, with that being said, thank you so much for joining us on day two. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.
Bye.